In part 5 of our little SharePoint intranet series, we're going to be looking at building the gallery for our intranet. So the gallery will be perfect for showcasing images from team building events or corporate events and projects and things like that. So I'm on my site at the moment. I'm going to go to the settings wheel. I'm going to go add an app. You'll notice that on the communication sites, you don't have all those apps anymore that we used to on the team sites. And you'll see as well, and I just want to scroll through and make sure that I'm going to pick a document library for my gallery instead of a picture library, which we used to have in our previous templates. So for the fun of it, seeing as I called the document library the brain, I think we're going to call the gallery eyeballs because we can. So create. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to modify the properties of this app. List name and description. Eyeballs. Why not? Purpose. And then, of course, always owner. So remember to add those properties later. Now you'll notice that in the document libraries, you can now also view the thumbnails. So that helps us with the gallery web part. There's another column that I want to add on this specific gallery, and that is event type, which means I have to create another lookup list. So let's do that quickly. And there you can see my lookup list. So very similar to the ones I created for document types and departments. So I've created a list called Lookup List Gallery. And this is where I can add the names for the type of images that I want to load in that library. So events, a specific project or a specific function. I created a view as well, which sorts it alphabetically and it displays more than 30 items. So this means I can go in the document library and I can now add that column. And remember, this is for my gallery. So I'm going to create a column. And it's going to be a lookup. Of course, this can be by department as well. So you can also filter this by department. But I'm just going to call this column event. And I'm going to point it to lookup list for gallery. And then remember to point it to the title column, not the ID column. And then we'll save that. And then, of course, you can create a view, which we'll do in the next clips, to actually display the data in a specific way. So let's quickly add an item and see what that looks like. Okay, I'm just going to drag the image in there. And then as soon as it's loaded, you'll see that I can then change the properties and say, hey, this was for this specific event. And that's just a similar way of doing folders, I suppose, for images, but by adding categories or metadata so that we can classify the content. And there we go, there's my image. Remember to rename this image as well, because it'll show in the web parts that we use. So I'm going to just rename this image for now and call it CEO at corporate party, for example. And then what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to edit the details here on the right hand side and link this to a specific event. So now I can say that this was from the corporate event for May. You'll have to add these categories before you can load a new set of images. So that's like creating a folder, but you'll have to physically go to this list and say, hey, I want to upload images for our project initiative save money or something. Whatever that might be. So that was for 2017. So I have to add a category first in my lookup list before I can add images that I can then link to that. So that's creating the gallery. And then, of course, remember that in the galleries, I can actually point to images and show them as tiles and not as items as you would in the library. So there's another good step for us towards finishing this intranet of ours. Catch you all soon.